Alright, what's happening, y'all? Today we're gonna go into the mountains. Guys, hopefully we're gonna get out of this I don't know, West Coast stuff and play around some mountain airports in the future. But in order to do that, take a look at my iPad here. Taking off out of Monterey, which is where we landed last. We're flying a different airplane today. One that I've never flown in real life, and I don't have any probably realistic hope of flying in real life. Flying the Baron. This should be a significantly faster flight, although it says it's an hour and a half, but I actually kind of don't believe that. Anyway, if you look at my iPad, we're going to be taking off on Monterey, VFR to the northeast. And we're going to try and dip into this canyon here. And get just out of the canyon over there. And then dip back into Mammoth Lakes. I'm going to try and do this all VFR today. But we got air traffic control plugged in, so should be make for a fun time. Alright, let's load her up. Make sure everything's off there. Sure. Yep, everything's good. Alright, here we are in West Coast, Monterey, California. About to take off and head into the mountains. Going to Mammoth Lakes. Should make for a good time. I don't fly the Baron in real life, so this is going to make for an interesting flight. But we have the benefit of using a G1000, which I also haven't flown in real life, but I'm relatively familiar with in the sim. So, let's turn her on. Oh wait, first things first. My flight controls are plugged in. That's annoying. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and throw on some of our lights on the outside of the airplane. Bring up the mixture. Change the view a little bit so you guys can kind of see what's going on. Bring up the props. Turn on the tanks. We throw on the fuel pump for a little bit. Open up the throttle a little bit. This is actually going to turn on over both engines at once, which you would never do in real life, but I only have one of these keys to turn, so we're going to do both at once. There they go. Turn off our fuel pumps now. Turn on our avionics. Alright, so now I need to look up some things. First things first, let's make sure Pilot Edge is working. Monterey's ATC is 1.9.25. Doesn't seem to be working. Oh crap, what's the ICA code of a Baron? 58. Oh, it's a B58.
Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet. Monterey Peninsula Airport. ATC information, Juliet. 0054 Zulu. Wind variable at 6. Gust 15. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 19 Dew point 11. Altimeter 29901. Arriving and departing runways 28 left. 28 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet. Monterey Peninsula Airport. ATC information, Juliet. 0054 Zulu. Wind variable at 6. Gust 15. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 19. Dew point 11. Altimeter 29901. Arriving and departing runways 28 left. 28 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Juliet. Monterey Peninsula Airport. 8 is information, Juliet. 0054 Zulu.
2977.
Right. Visual approaches in use.
Let's just say
Fresno Tower, Biscayne 1186, holding short 29 left, ready for departure. Biscayne 1186, Fresno Tower, runway 29 left, cleared for takeoff. Clear for takeoff 29 left, Biscayne 1186.
Monterey clearance, Baron 1800 Tango at Del Monte, looking for VFR departure to the east.
1800 Tango, Monterey clearance, departure frequency 121.3, squawk 4741.
121.3, 4741, 00 Tango.
00 Tango, read back correct.
Split the squawk. And just in case it says standby, it should be fine. Let's go ahead and squawk altitude. Okay. Go ahead and keep this up. Go to the plate. Go over to ground. 120875.
Biscayne 1186, contact departure. Departure, Biscayne 1186. Mirror 7, Whiskey Tango, report your for cancellation or missed approach in the air this frequency. You're on the ground 122.2. Change to advisory frequency approved. And departure, Biscayne 1186 out of 1.3 for 10,000. Biscayne 1186, Fresno departure, radar contact.
We have information, Juliet. 120875. Monterey ground, Arrow 1800 Tango. Is that Del Monte? VFR departure. Oh, sorry.
November 1800 Tango, Monterey ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha.
Alpha 28 left. Sorry, we have Juliet. Thank you. 00 Tango. Let's go ahead and just head on over there. We're on the taxi lights.
Biscayne 1186, unable to direct, nicked.
Approaching runway 10 right.
Get moving.
Salt Lake City Center, Station 2371 Tango. We are number 1 at South Bighorn.
Can't stand the yellow line.
2371 Tango, release for
Pretty
departure.
sure we'll take off flaps
Clinch right
one.
if not off and 10.
Release for departure.
Set up a couple other things.
Advisory 7 Tango.
We're going to climb up to 10,000 feet. Boy, it's taking its sweet time to scroll there. And we said we'd be going east, so let's throw in the heading bug and just turn it east. Throw in tower, which is 118.4.
And departure, Biscayne 1186, approaching 10,000, requesting higher. Biscayne 1186, contact Oakland Center, 128.7. 128.7, Biscayne.
Actually, we're going east. East is even, so it should be 10,500.
Biscayne 1186, Oakland Center, climb maintain flight level 200.
Approaching runway 28 left.
Okay. Sure. Swap over tower frequency, and departure was 121.3. That ready. Oh. Off by 0.005. There we go. Alright, so we're on the tower, right? 118.4, yep, okay. Alright, so before takeoff checklist, we're taking off to the west today. We want to end up going east. Looks like wind is basically nothing today. Again, take off, follow the directions of the tower. They'll tell us where to go probably. If we have a issue, our rotation speed today is 85, VX is 92, Y is 105. If we have an issue after rotation with one of the engines, we will probably take it into the air with us and just try and land back here. For some reason, we lose power, have an issue with during the takeoff roll below. Before
Scan
rotation speed, we'll
1186,
just
cross
apply
Clyde
brakes
at 4,000.
and stop back on the runway.
This Scan 1186,
But that's not gonna
contact NorCal approach 121.3.
All right, let's tell tower we're ready to go. Monterey Tower, Baron 1800 Tango. Should have 28 left at Alpha, ready for departure.
Mirror 1800 Tango, Monterey Tower, runway 28 left, cleared for takeoff, proceed on course.
Clear for takeoff, proceed on course, 00 Tango. Okay, lights are coming on.
And NorCal,
Fuel pump's coming on.
Scan 1186 out
Throw
of
on
20,000, clear to cross Clyde.
We'll throw on a pitot heat.
2,000.
There it is.
Scan 1186 Clyde at 4,000 is the restriction, and expect the
Approaching
ILS
runway 28
left
left.
approach.
Entered runway 28 left.
Okay,
6,800
Clyde
feet
4,000,
remaining.
expect an ILS 30 left approach of the Scan 1186.
Here we are.
Yeah, we're coming Baron 727 Tango on the ground at Crescent City, south of IFR.
We're still Tango I for cancellation received. November
Full power set
2371
and
Tango, Salt Lake Center, I down.
Rotation speed. Positive rate. No more runway. Gears coming up.
So 1 Tango radar contact 40
That's
east
115,
of Cody,
flaps
climb
come
and
up.
maintain for 410.
A little bit of trim. Above 500. Start our left turn. I never did our barometer check. Pretty close to sea level here. Up we go. Alright, lights can come off. We'll keep the pitot heat on. Try and rejoin the course right about here. So if I throw on heading mode, and let's do IIS mode. Let's climb out at, sorry, nav mode. And we're going to climb out at 115.
For 00 Tango, contact departure.
Departure 00 Tango. Departure Baron 1800 Tango, just east of Monterey, climbing through 4,800.
November 1400 Tango, correction 1800 Tango, NorCal departure, radar contact. For 71 Tango, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77.
Capturing our route here. And we'll throw on the autopilot.
November 2371 Tango, Salt Lake Center, Roger.
So we can pretty sure we're going to lower these down to 26 for the climb. I'm going to lean a little bit here. This thing climbed so good. Alright, let's check the winds. Which I would have dipped out. Oh, east is odd. We should be going up to 11,500. I'm an idiot. We should get a 5-knot tailwind on the way there. We go.
Albuquerque ground, Walker 709 with Echo, ready to taxi. Walker 709, Albuquerque ground, runway 8, taxi via Alpha. Runway 8 via Alpha, Walker 709.
Still climbing at 1,500 feet a minute in a piston twin. It's pretty good. Not even at VY. Take a look right here. This game is absolutely beautiful. Got to capture this altitude. And we're gonna accelerate. And honestly, I'm probably gonna keep the pedal to the metal. Don't want to be flying for hours here.
Scan 1186, cross Clyde at 4,000, cleared ILS, runway 30 left approach. Alright, we'll cross Clyde at 4,000, clear ILS 30 left approach, be scan 1186.
See the airplanes blinking above me. Alright, later California coast. It was fun flying around you. But I want to go play in the mountains these next few weeks. What happens if I lower the prop? Sounds a lot better. You know, we're only a little bit faster than that turbo Aero I was flying the other day. Twin engines. It says something about that turbo Aero, man. Now let's talk about where we're going. So we're headed to Mammoth. And if you look over here...
Albuquerque Tower, Walker 709, hold short, runway 8, ready for takeoff. Walker 709, Albuquerque Tower, runway 8, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, runway 8, Walker 709.
If you look over here, you know, we're kind of going through this pass of in between mountains, you know, 12,000 over here, 11,000 over there. And we're flying 11,500, so we'll have these mountains either side of us. And our base is going to VFR follow that canyon through until we break out. And then probably hang a right turn. And depending on the wind, we might just do a right pattern into 27, which this is a right pattern airport. If you're wondering why, because look at what's to the left of it. It's just a bunch of mountains, so don't want to be intentionally flying towards mountains if you could avoid it. Or at least not at a low altitude, right? So anyway, for now, we're headed there. As we get closer to this pass, I'm probably going to switch off of direct mode in the GPS and instead align the heading with what's in ForeFlight. That way I can follow this pass safely. What's this? Temporarily restricted. Cool. Alright. We're on a 45-minute flight now. Let's do some pilot training while we're here. Instrument rating. Test prep. I am not done with my instrument test prep yet, so I fully expect
Walker
failures.
709, contact departure.
Over to departure, Walker 709.
Number 00 Tango, radar services terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved.
Squawk and talk VFR, 00 Tango, thank you, sir. Alright, we'll stay on with him.
Albuquerque
Just
departure,
to have
Walker
something to listen to.
709, 7200, climbing via Roadrunner 3.
But we will change our transponder to VFR.
Walker 709, Albuquerque departure, radar contact.
Alright, guys.
Aston clearance, good afternoon. .com 822 with information on Florida Jackson.
New study session. Random questions.
.com 822, Aspen clearance, clear to Jackson Hole Airport. Lens Niner departure,
Go flashcard
and that's
mode.
filed. Climb via Civic 7maintain 16,000. Departure frequency 123.8, squawk 4616.
Go 20.
.com 822 cleared to descend less 9 departure, then climb via Civic 7 maintain 16,000, departure 23.8, squawk 4616.
.com 822, read that correct.
It's a professional right there. For maintaining level flight at constant thrust, which instrument would provide the least appropriate?
This Kane 1186, contact San Jose Tower.
Which instrument would be the least
Okay,
appropriate
over
for
the tower, this
determining
Kane 1186.
the need for pitch chain? The least
And
appropriate?
San Jose Tower, this Kane 1186, I left 30 left. This Kane 1186, San Jose Tower, runway 30 left, clear to land.
Heading indicator,
Clear to
right?
land 30 left, this Kane 1186.
HSI, I feel like. Attitude indicator. Makes sense. Makes sense. Well, let's say we got that wrong. Next. For the figure, what determines the map for the straight-in VOR DME runway 36 approach at EUC? Map would be missed approach point. So this is VOR DME. I'm guessing it's the category of the approach, whether it's circling or not. Maybe I misunderstood the question. Okay, I'm not liking the flashcard view. Because, like, I understand now, like, it's basically saying, hey, what's telling you that it's the missed approach point? There should be a symbol. Alright, let's do this again. With questions. Bring it back to 20 questions. What type of by the way, if you're in chat and you want to help me with these questions, that'd be great. The type of precipitation and visibility is forecast for the
Walker
region
709, contact Albuquerque Center 134.6.
to the west of Area A.
134.6, Walker 709.
So, this is me. Green dots mean rain, I'm pretty sure, and the number of dots is the severity, I think. So it should just be standard precipitation, like mild, moderate precipitation. As far as visibility
Walker
goes,
709, Albuquerque Center, climb maintain flight level 360.
yeah, it's a little bit of inference there, right? So I'm pretty sure that the 2 dots was light. I don't think it was going to be heavy rain. It may have been rain showers, technically. I thought maybe that was an option. But there's no way the visibility was going to be greater than 5 square miles because it's IFR. So, there. Next. What's the rule for a pilot receiving a land and hold short operation clearance? Okay. What's the rule? I'm pretty sure we have the option to accept or reject landing and hold short clearances. But I'm wondering if it's... Pretty sure. Yeah. Which condition would cause the altimeter to indicate a lower altitude than actually flown? The air temperature shouldn't have anything to do with it. It should just be the pressure being lower than standard. I'm wrong.
And 10 Jose Tower, Biscayne at 86, cleared 30 left and kilo, request taxi to the terminal. Biscayne 1186, cross runway 30 right at kilo, join Zulu to parking and monitor. Okay, crossing 30 right at kilo, and Zulu to parking, Biscayne at 86.
When the air is warmer than standard, you are higher than the altimeter indicates. Didn't know that. Refer to the figure. To receive this clearance, hold east of the ABC Vortac on the 090 rate, left turn. What's the recommended procedure to enter the holding pattern? Oh, God.
Aspen ground, DOCOM 22 with information looking for taxi 33.
I don't
DOCOM
remember,
822,
guys.
Aspen ground runway 33, taxi via Alpha.
One of these is the most likely.
DOCOM 82.
I think parallel is the most likely. I think I just guessed correctly, to be honest with you. Let's go to the flying handbook link. Oh, is it not gonna hang on? I'll know the chart when I see it. I'll know the stupid thing. There it is. No, that's part of holding. Here we go. Okay. So most common is direct. Teardrop would be the least likely. Kind of makes sense. So you really need to be able to understand, how do I get out of this? From looking here, where we are in reference to that. So, you know, we're holding towards the 60, probably tracking towards it. Yeah, we're going to it. Puts this flare up. There's a 2-foot footer. Yeah, I'm clearly gonna have to get some practice with those. Thrust is managed to maintain IAS, and glide slope is being flown. What characteristics should be observed when a headwind shears to be a consistent tailwind? Interesting. I never even actually thought about this. Flying towards some clouds over there. We are. I think we'll be above them. Remember, boys, we're VFR. So if you get a pop-up IFR if the weather changes on us, that won't be great. But we could practice it.
Monterey clearance, bearing 737 Whiskey Tango, IFR clearance, Half Moon Bay.
737 Whiskey Tank. Monterey clearance clear to the Half Moon Bay Airport. Monterey 5 departure to Shui, direct Salinas, direct Sapid, and direct. Maintain 6,000. Departure frequency 121.3, squawk 3531.
Okay, we cleared the Half Moon Bay. We'll fly the Monterey 5 departure, Shui direct, Salinas direct, Sapid direct, altitude 6,000, frequency 121.3, and we'll fly 3531, 737 Whiskey Tango.
737 Whiskey Tango, reback correct.
So your airspeed should increase with a tailwind, but your indicated airspeed will decrease.
Aspen Tower, DOCOM 92 holding shorter 33 for departure.
If it's switched from the head
DOCOM
to the
822,
tail.
Aspen Tower, runway 33, cleared for takeoff.
So it's one of these two.
Take off runway 3, DOCOM 822.
The vertical speed increase or decrease. I mean, I don't know how they raise that question, pitch attitude increases or increases? It would decrease, right? So it's this one? Yeah. The reason I thought it would decrease is just the nature of taking off into the headwind, right? The wind is helping you get lift when your airplane wants to bank up. If you're in an approach and suddenly that wind goes away, you'll have less lift. So your pitch could decrease and actually, yeah, vertical speed increases, it says. When a headwind shears to be a consistent tailwind, the pilot must increase power momentarily. I knew that. Because the pitch, attitude, and airspeed will decrease. So I didn't know the attitude would change. That makes sense. It always just feels like turbulence in the real world. Typically, wind shear in small aircraft, you just go around, right? You just go full power and you beat it. Try again. As the aircraft recovers to normal airspeed, the power must be reduced to maintain it. Yeah, okay. I deduced to that one. How are we doing? It says we got 25 minutes left to go. All right.
Roger, back on next one. Roger, hello, back on 822, 210,000, 16,000, 16,000, 1
Falcon 822 after departure, and our contact on maintain flight level 210.
26 level 21 to Falcon 822.
For a stabilized approach, the aircraft must be in an improved configuration for landing. Oh, interesting. This is a rule I don't know about yet. Basically, you must have a stabilized approach and be configured appropriately for landing before a certain point. I don't know what that point is, so let's just think about it for a sec. With the engine spooled up before descending below 2,520. That's 1,000 above minimum, right? Yeah. Maybe. Don't think so. But maybe. With a descent rate of less than 1,000 feet below... That seems like it's too late to be stable. At that point, you're not stable. With the correct speed and ongoing before descending below, that's 500 above minimums. I think it's the third one. Yeah. I don't think that they'd require prop full forward. That would be a pilot decision based on the circumstances of the approach. Stabilized approach is required 1,000 feet above the touchdown zone. See uplift gunner gives touchdown zone. Okay. Therefore, you must be established on the approach. Okay. So 1,000 feet above touchdown zone. Good to know. 119.6 would be a more a closer approach frequency, especially for that. See if that's clearer. You can see we're getting closer to the mountains up there. Take a look around here for a sec. Sun setting.
Monterey ground, bearing 737 Whiskey Tango, south ramp at Kilo, taxi with Kilo.
Number 737 Whiskey Tango, Monterey ground, runway 28 left, taxi via Alpha.
28 left via Alpha, 737 Whiskey Tango.
Okay, so we're gonna go do a couple things here while we're flying. So I'm going into ForeFlight, right? I'm gonna do a couple things. So profile, maybe Navlog. Yeah, so Navlog gives me the headings to turn in order to reach certain points. So I go here and I say direct to, go to Navlog, turn heading 61 to be pointing that direction. Throw it in heading mode. And then the next heading, once we get to that destination, is going to be 26. To head us through this valley up here. How much longer does it say? 25 minutes still. Let's talk about our approach in here. So we're going to be coming into Mammoth. What the weather looks like. 290, 9 to 14. So we'll do runway 27. That's good. VFR, good conditions. Altimeter 3007.
Tucson clearance, Cirrus
Do
994
the
Papa Mike. We're looking to just remain in the pattern here at Tucson and do some touch and goes.
4 Papa Mike, second aircraft type.
Cirrus SR22, 994 Papa Mike.
4 Papa Mike, Roger, Squawk VFR, contact ground.
Squawk VFR and over to ground.
Elevation 7,135, so pattern will be 8,135. So I'll have to descend only a couple thousand from when we get through that cavern, which is fine. Hey, what lake are we flying over? Eastman Lake.
Tucson ground, Cirrus 994 Papa Mike, at Atlantic Aviation, ready for taxi.
November 994 Papa Mike, Tucson ground, runway 11 left, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 11 left via Alpha, and we have golf as well, 994 Papa Mike.
Looks like the fuel quantity is not lowering at all in that gauge. Is it not here? Oh, 94%. This thing has an endurance for days, man. You can see as we're getting closer to these mountains, they're looking higher and higher, right? You wouldn't have noticed them or even thought about worrying about them if you were just flying mindlessly off in this direction. Until maybe now? Maybe now. According to the charts, some of those mountains are higher than I'm currently flying. Right? And that's how they get you. I'm flying at night, right? And when I took off at sea level. So I went from flat terrain to being 11,500 feet above it.
Tucson ground, Cirrus 994 Papa Mike. We're holding short of Alpha. Trying to figure out why we can't get our landing light on, so we're just going to be a minute.
Roger.
And after, flying for 45 minutes, we could potentially hit a mountain if we're not paying attention. So mountain flying is really interesting because of that. It's really dangerous because of that. And we just mentioned the airport that we're flying to, right? It has a right pattern, which is a non-standard traffic pattern, and it's because there's mountains if you go to the left pattern. I live in a very flat area. I live in Houston, Texas, right? There's nothing in here to run over to. So practicing in the sim in these mountainous areas helps keep my brain more sharp and aware of the things I should be in practice checking. Because I don't get to practice them in real life around here. But if I ever fly cross country, this is things I need to be familiar with. So I fly in the sim. One of the many benefits of flying in the sim. A lot of people wonder why I take flying in the sim so seriously. This is just one of the reasons.
Number 46 Hotel, the Reading altimeter 2974.
Alright, we have a few minutes now, so let's just keep on with studying. Which meteorological condition is issued in the form of a SIGMET? 30 knot wind at the surface, widespread standard dust storms. Okay, so here's the deal. One of these answers says the word significant in it. And the SIG in SIGMET stands for significant meteorological event. Right? This is private pilot stuff.
Tucson ground, Cirrus 994 Papa Mike. We're just going to go ahead and reload. I'm not sure what's going on, if it's a glitch or what have you.
Roger.
Now, 30 knot winds on the surface is a lot, but I don't think they announced SIGMETs for it. Because it's like, what, would you have a SIGMET every 10 miles? Like, how would you do that? That'd be a pain in the ass. Moderate icing, in and of itself, I don't think dictates a SIGMET. For the same reason, it has to be widespread. And one of these, oh, I just said the widespread word, is widespread and significant, both those keywords. If I click this button and it's wrong, I'm gonna freak out. Good. Being radar vectored, an approach clearance is received. The last assigned altitude should be maintained until reading the FAF established on a segment of a published route or IAP advised to begin descent. So I'm being vectored, and I received the approach clearance. So definitely not the FAF. If they advise you for the approach, you can descend via the approach. So you need to be established on the route, or have hit the initial approach for this. Yeah. Upon receipt of an approach clearance while on an unpublished route or being radar vectored, maintain last assigned altitude until established on a segment of a published route or IP, at which time published altitude is applied. Yep. If cleared for a straight-in localizer approach from over Hindi, the flight should... Let's look at the figure. Oh, God, Arcs. I don't see anything if you're coming in over Hindi.
709, contact Albuquerque Center, 134.22.
Straight in from over Hindi. Man. I mean, it's straight in. I don't think you have to do the procedure turn. I think the procedure turn is if you're coming in the other direction.
Affirmative, 134.32.
Alright, the flight should. We'll be landing. Sure. Straight in landing minimums.
Walker 709, Albuquerque Center, roger.
I'm gonna say this. Alright, some of this is a little luck, but I'm just kind of using some just general competency against this test. Okay, since we're 11 minutes out, so I should probably oops, pay attention to the map here. Yeah, we're coming up on some terrain, and it is proper dark outside now. The next frequency we're going to end up going to, by the way, it's going to be Mammoth CTAP, which is 122.8. And we're going to plan procedure, approach. Oh, I don't even plan that. The edit, not routes, dag-nabbit. Procedure, traffic pattern, 27, 45. This is the plan. Alright, can't see squat outside now. I might as well keep this up.
Tucson ground, Cirrus 994 Papa Mike, set Atlantic Aviation, ready to taxi.
We're 994 Papa Mike, Tucson ground, runway 11 left, taxi via Alpha.
11 left via Alpha, 994 Papa Mike.
Let's see if I can find some lights in here.
Monterey Tower, bearing 737 Whiskey Tango, 28 left, ready for departure.
There's 737 Whiskey Tango, Monterey Tower, runway 28 left, cleared for takeoff.
28 left.
I don't see any red lights for me to use. Anything down here? Not that I can see. I can see everything I need to see, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. In about 7 miles, we're going to be making a turn to 26.
Tucson Tower, Cirrus 994 Papa Mike, holding short runway 11 left, ready for departure, we're going to remain in the pattern.
We're 994 Papa Mike, Tucson Tower, make left, close traffic, report midfield, downwind each pass. Runway 11 left, cleared for takeoff.
Alright, runway 11 left, cleared for takeoff, we'll report midfield, runway left traffic, 994 Papa Mike.
Left turn 26 begins here shortly. Go ahead and start it now.
7 Whiskey Tango, contact departure.
Departure, 7 Whiskey Tango. 7 Whiskey Tango, off of Monterey, 1,700, finally 6,000.
737 Whiskey Tango, NorCal departure, radar contact.
What we can do is give a profile view. Double check our current path here, right? We get really close to the tops of some mountains going this direction. But we'll be clear of it. Doing this.
Destination AWAS is 118.05.
Thank you, ForeFlight. Doing this particular thing in the real world at night, I would never do. I'd rather just climb higher and circle down below.
Midfield for runway 11 left. Touch and go.
Over 994 Mike, runway 11 left, clear for the option.
Runway 11 left, clear for the option, 994 Mike.
7 Whiskey Tango, clear to X Stafford.
Direct Stafford, 77 Whiskey Tango.
Yeah, because I'm effectively visually separating myself from the terrain right now. And if you can notice, I can't see anything. I can't see anything. So how effectively can I visually separate myself from the terrain? Can't. Right? Those mountains are definitely higher than me. Those might be. Definitely going to pass some that are higher than me. And I think I'm going to come within 500 feet of one of these mountaintops. Which means I'm definitely not high enough. I'm not about to fly to 13,500 right now in a sim. So we'll just deal with it right now. I want to get there sometime I can go to sleep. Yeah, there's a river kind of below me right now. You know, if I'm visually flying, I probably follow that river. Other type of IFR, right? I follow rivers. But I'm going to cut over these little tops here. Pretty sketchy.
Company 22, contact Salt Lake Center 135.77.
You see that on the map, right? Just to the left of me, 11,030 feet. What's my altitude? 11,500 feet.
Company 22, Salt Lake Center, option.
So we're probably going to fly over these and you're going to hear the airplane go 500. Alright, we're flying over them now. There's a city down there. There's Mammoth. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to start a descent down to pattern altitude. Just 8,000. Go in VS mode. Let's head on down at 1,000 feet a minute. Throttle back a bit.
Sorry, that was not sure what call sign, but that was for .com 822-240.
Go into heading mode and begin our right turn eastbound. We'll swap over to the CTAF. 22.8. How far out am I? 8 miles. We need to be descending a lot faster than this. Alright. Mammoth traffic. Bearing 1800 Tango is about 7.5 miles to the west. And I'm going to enter a right downwind for runway 27. Mammoth traffic. Alright, so there's Mammoth. Alright, let's turn our lights on. Just realized I never turned off my fuel pump. That's fine. That's fine. Bring up our mixture a little bit.
500.
Let's just go mixture rich. 500?
Warning, terrain ahead.
Yeah, no kidding. That just saved. I had my head down, looking around. That call just saved me. We'll hand fly it now. Go ahead and push the props full forward. Start slowing her down. Get inside the white arc here. It's the white arc, flaps 1.
500. 500.
Dang. Alright. Drop down the gear. And we'll go flaps full. Gears down 3 green. There we are, really high. Alright, well let's do a little bit of a slip then. It's a 7,000 foot runway. So we
Short
can do a
final
little bit of
runway
stuff here.
27.
Whoop, maybe not quite so hard on the rudder.
Sync
Boy.
rate. Sync rate.
Oh, can you tell I can't fly this airplane? It's okay, we saved it. Alright, flaps up. Make a single traffic call. That's how stressed out I was. That is the worst. Taxiway's coming up. Holy crap. That went so bad so fast. Pop quiz, what's the green and white beacon? Answer in the comments. Alright, well we might as well make a traffic call now. Mammoth traffic bearing 1800 Tango's clear of the active off taxi into Hot Creek. Mammoth traffic. Let's go over there. Land lights off, fuel pump can come off. Oh. Keep our taxi lights on. Alright, so for one of the first times, I think, since we took off, I guess, we're back at an uncontrolled airport. My goodness. That got really hairy. Flying at night in unfamiliar terrain and mountainous terrain is no joke. Holy crap. And in an unfamiliar plane. But it's a sim, so, you know, have a little bit of fun. Gonna go ahead and park over here by what's labeled as Hot Creek. Hot Creek Aviation. Holy crap, parking brakes on, taxi lights can come off, all the other lights can come off, props are full. Avionics can come off. Mixture can be cut. Master's off. Okay, that's the flight with a almost spectacular ending. I almost ate it. Oh boy. Alright. Well, see you next time.